Hello friends, part-time bartender here. Regular guy, didn't show, I'm filling in. This is the channel where we mix the best of the pro bar and the home bar to make you excellent cocktails. And tonight, we're making the very excellent El Presidente cocktail. This is a grand cocktail from Cuba. It has a storied past, like so many. It's a Prohibition era cocktail. What happened was, back in the 20s, there were various presidents of Cuba. One guy said, I want a cocktail, I want a special cocktail. His staff came up with something for him. Later on, somebody said, hey, I like that, I want mine. But he said, I don't want it just like the other guy, so they added grenadine to it. And so it evolved over time. Americans came down there to drink during Prohibition, and it was, you had a great time, beautiful weather, and you can get booze. You couldn't do that back in the US. And so the El Presidente was born. After Prohibition and after all that happened, it kind of fell out of favor, but it was been revived over the last 20 years or so. And it really is a beautiful cocktail. It's very elegant. It has a lot of finesse. It reminds me of a Martini or a Manhattan. It's the kind of thing you sit back and you contemplate and you sip it. I think of kind of rum drinks as a Mai Tai and those tiki kind of cocktails. This is a sip and drink and a contemplative drink. It's a really nice cocktail. I had some the other night with some friends, smoking some cigars. It was a great night. It's a great combo. Anyways, let me go through it here. So first off, it has rum, and I'm using the Real McCoy. The Real McCoy is a English style rum. I think it comes from the Bahamas or Barbados, one of those places. But the point is, in that English style, it's very fuller and maybe even richer and sweeter. And so the Cuban style rum is more austere. You see that in various brands here in America too. But I like this. I think a little richer is better. And so you could always use the more authentic and the proper Cuban style, but I like something like this. Anyways, and then it calls for vermouth. It calls for blanco vermouth, which is the middle ground between the dry vermouth, which is the white one, and the sweet vermouth, which is the red one. There's another one called the blanco. It's a little more obscure and not quite, you don't quite use it as much. I don't know. It's like, how many bottles of vermouth do I need? I also have Lillet. And so I'm trying it with Lillet because it's a little sweeter, like the Blanco, in the sense that it's not as dry as the dry. So that's the one I'm using. And then it calls for curacao. This is the Pierre Fernand curacao. This stuff is really good too. It's a really good price. And so I like to use that. And then of course, it also calls for a little splash of grenadine. I have some grenadine here that I made myself. Grenadine basically is just reduced pomegranate juice, a little orange blossom water to kind of give it a little aromatics. You add a little sugar, depending on how sweet that pomegranate juice is you start with. Obviously, you could always start with fresh pomegranates, depending on where you live and what season it is. But this works just fine. I really don't use the stuff that you buy in the store, roses. It's too red. It's an unnatural red color. Nothing in nature is that color. Homemade is better. I mean, this is one of those things where it's worth making it yourself versus using the roses. I mean, sometimes it's a pain in the neck, but in this case, I think it's worth it. Anyways, that's the core of it. So let's get mixing. And so here we go. I have my shaker glass, and to that, I'm adding 1.5 ounces of the rum. And then I have 3/4 ounce of the vermouth. And then I have 1/4 ounce of the curacao. And then just a bar spoon, basically a teaspoon, of the grenadine. So that's what I'm adding in here. And then I have my ice here. And basically, it's a stir drink, so you just kind of stir for about 30 seconds. You want some dilution here. And then I have my chilled glass. Pour it right in. And then the garnish. You know, really, at making drinks at home, one of the things that really makes a difference is garnishing things. I mean, you go out and they do this at a nice bar. You get a nice peel off of it. And you express the oils into the drink. Boy, that really makes a difference. Right in there it goes. There it is, an El Presidente. Boy, that's a good drink. Like I said, it's very elegant. It has a nice orangey kind of cast to it. It is a little sweet. It's not as dry as a martini, but it's very refreshing and it's a good drink. Boy, that's a good drink. Boy, that's good. Boy, you really get the orange notes from the orange peel and the curacao, and it has a nice sweetness from the rum. Again, I really like the Jamaican style rums. The English style rums, they have more body to them. Mount Gay is one too. That's a familiar brand. There's a lot of them out there, but this is a really great drink. It's very elegant. If you're not in the mood to make a martini on a hot summer night or something, this is a nice alternative. It makes you feel like you're someplace exotic too. So there you have it, an El Presidente. It's a very good drink.